And making wine is pretty easy compared to beer. If you have a bucket with a grommet, put the airlock in now before you start adding stuff, because grommets like to poke in. The bucket's already sanitized. Acid blend. Three-quarter teaspoons of acid blend. And you can test, you should test this, but I already know my apples, so I know what they take. Pectic enzyme, and a lot of the times this is the only clarifier you should need. Pectic enzyme and thyme. Half a teaspoon of that per gallon. Camden tablet. I'm thinking sulfite's been giving me a headache, so I'm cutting back on the the metabisulfite, which is what Camden is. But at this point, there's nothing in the apples to really save them, so you probably should add it. If not, you're risking wild yeast taking over. One tablet per gallon, crushed. Gallon of apple cider. Because I know my apples, this will be right around 5% alcohol, and I'm going to mix it with 14% alcohol because I found this will go dry since it has no added sugar. Found out when they go dry they don't taste like apples anymore, but if you add sugar above what the yeast can handle, it'll eat the added sugars before it eats the natural sugars in the apple. And you end up with apple flavor. So I make one batch dry, one batch sweet, and then blend them. One of these packets will do 5 gallons of wine, and since I'm cheap, I try to estimate 1/5 of one of these packets. Sprinkle it on top. Put the lid on. If you're using a sanitizer that you can drink, pull up your airlock. If you're not using a sanitizer you can drink, you can add vodka to that. And let it sit at about 70 degrees. That should start fermenting in a day. And there you go. A lot easier than beer. After about a week, transfer that to a glass carbide boy. This is a 5-gallon batch I've got going to be 14% and sweet. And then I like to move it to a cold room because I want it sweet, so I don't want the yeast going overboard. And hopefully the cold room will calm the yeast down. And then as it goes, these leaves will settle in. And you rack it off the leaves about once a month until you get it clear. And that is your wine.